How to make a merge request. Our entire website is built on a Git repository. So to make changes to the handbook is relatively simple. There's two different ways that you can do it. If you are out on the public website and you find something that needs to be updated on one of the pages, you can scroll to the very bottom of the page and you'll see in the footer where it says edit this page. You can click this link and it'll take you directly to the file within the GitLab repo for that page. And when you're signed in, you can click edit. And I always soft wrap because that keeps the copy within the confines of the window. So you don't have to scroll to the right to find a line of code. So you just click soft wrap and it keeps it within that window. And so it's easier to work. And so let's say we need to add a Slack channel because we noticed that one of the Slack channels is not listed here. So what we're going to want to do, no, that one's there. These are listed in alphabetical order for the most part. Marketing is obviously our general channel, and so that one is actually, all Slack channels have lowercase names, and so this one will just correct the capitalization there. But then also to add the additional Slack channel, we're just going to find where it would fit, and then you do follow proper formatting, and we're going to you list the Slack channel and you list the definition for it. When you've made a change, and if that's the only change that you've made on it, you're ready to commit that change to the handbook. You always make a quick change to the commit message. The commit message is a way to communicate what was changed on that page. So in case in the future we need to revert backwards, we know what changes were made when. If all the changes in the commits just say update index, then we don't really know what was changed on that page. And then to see what was changed, we'd have to dig into every single change. So a commit message is an easy way to communicate that change out to anybody else who's looking at this page and wanting to see what has been updated. So we're just going to say update Slack channel list. Now, most everybody, this target branch is going to say patch dash and then some unique numbers. I always recommend that you change this branch to something that's unique to you. Since I'm in marketing operations, I always change it to marketing ops and then what it is. So we're going to do update Slack. And by default, if this is the first time that you're writing to a branch, or if this is the first commit that you're making that day, for that hour, whatever the case may be, by default, this box is always going to be checked. It's easiest at this time just to keep it checked, so then you can create your merge request at the same time that you're making your commit. So once all of this is done, you've made the changes that you want to make, you press the green button. And now it's going to take you from the commit page and the file that you edited into a merge request. It does pull over your commit message to the title. If that's the only change you made and this is the only thing that you're going to be putting within this merge request, then you can go ahead and leave it. Or if you're making multiple changes to multiple different pages, you could change this title to something different. In the description, again, if this is the only change you're making, you can choose to leave it blank, or you can add additional details. So let's say you changed 5 different pages, you could list out the different pages that you've made edits to. Or if you want to tag someone in the description so they can see that the change has been made, you can do that here just the same exact way that you would do in a issue or anywhere else. You can just tag the person and then they'll get a notification that it's happened. You generally assign MRs to your direct manager so they can review it. If they don't have merge rights, then they'll assign it to someone else within the department that does have merge rights. Alternatively, you can assign your MRs to the operations person in your department and tag your direct manager, and the operations person will wait until that manager says that yes, this is good to go, and then they'll merge it. So in this case, the Slack channel update is the only thing that happened. I do have my own merge rights, and so I can just say assign it to me. You delete your source branch when the merge request is accepted, so that just keeps our branch history clean. And so then you say submit merge request. Now what this does, it will start a pipeline running that will verify that the change that you made is acceptable within the framework of our website. And it will run, and if there's a problem, you'll see one of these turn into a red X, but more often than not, the changes that you're making are just going to be markdown changes, and so they're relatively simple, and so these will all go green. Since I have merge rights, or when I get notified that somebody's assigned me a merge request to merge, I can actually just press this blue button and the merge will get pushed out public without me having to come back and do it later. So I can just set it to merge when it's done. And so in the background, it'll be happening. And so nobody will wait on me to come back and actually merge the merge request. So that's one way to make a merge request. The other way to do it is when you're out on the handbook. So let's say you're on the business ops page and you forget that you can scroll all the way to the very bottom. The other place you can be is if you're in your issues or you're out in the handbook and you want to make a change, you can navigate to the repo where the website is housed, and it's the www.gitlab-com project. And most all the files and the directories are in the source folder. And so you just follow the breadcrumbs. So here we are on the BizOps page, and let's say that you found something on this page that needs to be updated. You can go to your source file, and so you know that you're on handbook, and the breadcrumbs that I'm talking about is up here. It says handbook and then BizOps, so you know that you need to navigate to the handbook file, and then you need to get to the BizOps file. So what we're going to do is we went from source, that's just the master, that's the about.gitlab.com. So now we need to navigate to the handbook file, which we just scroll down, they're alphabetical order. So now we're in handbook, and we need to get to the BizOps one. Again, alphabetical order, BizOps. And so if this is the terminal slug, which means it's the last piece of this URL, it's just the last one, there's nothing beyond it, we know that that's the location of the file that we need to edit. So right here, the index.html.md file, this is the file that controls that page. So we click on it, and it brings you to the file that you can edit and the copy that is presently on that page. To make your change, you click edit. And same thing as before, you can soft wrap it so the contents stay within the confines of your window. And then you scroll down the page until you find where you're wanting to make your change. So in this case, alternatively, you can also just click within this window and hit Command F, and it gives you the search function. And so we can say Slack, and it'll identify the word Slack anywhere on the page. And you can go up or navigate up or down to find where within the page you want to actually make your change. In this case, we can make this change here because, as I mentioned before, Slack channels are always lowercase, and here we have them capital cased. So we can just make this edit. So it's just consistent with what somebody's going to actually experience within the Slack platform itself. And so we've made our change, and we are going to change our commit message. So we're going to say fix punctuation. And so we're going to change this again to a unique branch to us. So there we go. And we're going to say commit. So now this is a different branch than we were on previously, but it's another change. So let's say we didn't even have your previous one there. This is the only change that we've made again. We're going to assign it to myself. We're going to delete the source branch, and we're going to say submit merge request. So now, same thing. This pipeline's going to run and verify the code change that we just made to make sure that it's acceptable. And we assigned it to a person that has merge rights. In this case, it's me. And I'm able to merge this pipeline when it's done running. And so I don't have to come back and remember to merge this later. On this page, you'll notice that there's view eligible approvers. This means that Walter actually owns the code that's on that page. It's his department that owns most all the process that's on that page. In this case, it's not a required approval, but he is notified when changes on that page are made. So if there's questions or problems with that page, he would be the person that you'd go to with questions for that. So he's what's called a code owner. There are certain pages and certain sections of the website that you'll find people own that code. So like data team page, Taylor Murphy, he owns that code. Walter owns this code. The digital marketing programs team, they own certain pages related to like Google Tag Manager and tracking. So these are not required approvers, but these people are notified when changes to this page are made just because they're responsible for that section of the handbook, ultimately responsible for that section of the handbook. But you can still make the changes that you need to make. And so again, this, we're just gonna merge it when pipeline succeeds. And so when it's done running, it'll get pushed out to the handbook automatically, and changes have now been done. So those are the two different ways that you can create a merge request, either from the handbook page itself or from navigating within the directory. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask on the Marketing Ops Slack channel. Otherwise, hopefully this has been helpful.